I just took a flight, hell yeah. I did part of whip, hell yeah. Bottles in the club, hell yeah.
What is up, everybody? It is your boy Fry. Thank you once again for tuning in. Today we're going to be looking at doing the free version of the Travis Scott vocal effect. So, stay tuned, drop a like if you enjoy the content, and I'll continue making. Shout out to everyone in the comment section. I love you all. Let's get straight into it. We're going to break down some cool things today. Yeah.
I just took a flight, hell yeah. I did part of whip, hell yeah. Bottles in the club, hell yeah. Party all night, hell yeah. Girls, I let them in, hell yeah. Ball, I let them in, hell yeah. Sun be shining bright, hell yeah. All the off-white, hell yeah.
Alrighty. Let's get straight into it. Alrighty, so pretty much gonna run through just the the basic tone. I've done this quite a few times. We've got some new additions to the template, but the first thing I'll just kind of break down is obviously our basics. We've got some expansion. This is pretty much the most important thing, as well as setting the tone of your vocals. So if I turn these two things off, I'll explain them shortly. Let's just kind of skip to the main vocal.
I just took a flight, hell yeah. I did part of whip, hell yeah. Bottles in the club, hell yeah.
As you know, I'm a big kind of fan. I'm a bit close to my mic. I'm a big fan of kind of analoging your vocals per se. So that has always been my mission, to try and get a more, because when we record in the studio with an SSL preamp, it just sounds so sweet off top. You don't have to do too much to it. But so in FL, what we're doing is we just kind of rolling off the low end we don't need. Obviously, we got a big bass heavy track, and then we're rolling off some of the top end. Now, the reason we do that is because we want to get rid of the digital harshness. You know what I mean? So these are two plugins in FL that you can really use to achieve that sound. If I turn on and off.
I just took a flight, hell yeah. I did part of whip, hell yeah. Bottles in the club, hell yeah. Party all night, hell yeah.
You know what I mean? It just gives it this richness that you know what I mean? You can't really go without. So yeah, pretty much a bit of de-essing. We've talked about that in previous videos. I don't need to speak on it again. Again, we're kind of sticking with our thing of rolling off the top end, just kind of smoothing out the vocal, you know what I mean? Little bass bump just to compete with the bass in a way that is natural, really nice and basic. A bit of FL wrap compression, just a fast attack, fairly slow release, not too much of a ratio, and a medium type compressor, so it kicks in fairly quickly. And then we're just doing some EQ, really basic stuff, you know what I mean? We don't really need to run through too much. I want to go through more of the sends, but the two plugins that I want to speak on are the Air Flanger. Now, if you do not have this, you can just use, I've used it on this backup channel. You can use these settings, which is the fruity flangers. You can pretty much just, turn the wet down, obviously, on this side. And you'll get a similar sound to that. We just use this to get kind of like a future effect, you know what I mean? And this is the new addition today. If you do have like stereo effects before this plugin, it does some to mono. So, this is a mono plugin per se. That's why I put the flanger afterwards. But we're using this to kind of get that Travis Scott treble. You can boost this knob. I recommend you go and download this. And I enable all the boost kind of plugins or settings, my bad. We use this kind of enhancement knob over here. But if I enhance the high end, you can hear how much more Travis Scotty it gets per se. So let me play
I
that.
just took a flight, hell yeah. I did part of whip, hell yeah. Bottles in the club, hell yeah. Party all night, hell yeah. Girls, I let them in, hell yeah. Ball, I let them in, hell yeah.
So yeah, that pretty much without it, we are doing a little bit of reduction. And this bottom, this is a vocal plugin per se. So Mr. Terry West in 2007 kind of set this all up. So if you're a beginner with EQ, this is a great kind of plugin to use. If I turn it off, you can hear. I'll turn off the flanger as well.
I just took a flight, hell yeah. I did part of whip, hell yeah.
So, you know, the flanger gives us that silkiness, and the Voc EQ gives us that kind of punch that you want in your vocal. Alrighty, so the next important thing is our effects. Right now, slap, I'm actually not doing anything other than EQing, just to kind of get a parallel effect per se, but I am using this kind of vocal send. Now, generally, these are the plugins I use to create a doubler effect per se, you know what I mean, waves doubler. You know, we're going for free options here, so we can use this I added. So obviously, again, you'll just have to add any modulation plugin. I think this should be enough. This is really just me being extra, and then we just EQ just to kind of make sure that we don't overdo the effect. You can use this as kind of like a volume controller in a way, you know what I mean. So if I turn this off,
I just took a fly, hell yeah.
It's a bit overpowering, but if I turn it on,
I just took a fly, hell yeah.
we just kind of flanging the parts that we want. So I'll turn this off, I'll leave it off, and then I'll turn it on halfway through.
I just took a fly, hell yeah. I did part of whip, hell yeah. Bottles in the club, hell yeah. Party all night, hell yeah. Girls, I let them in, hell yeah. Ball, I let them in, hell yeah.
So yeah, there you go. We are doing a bit of a parallel compression with the Easy NY. And we're actually doing that to the beat and the vocal just to get a bit of loudness. If I turn this up, you can hear how much louder the track
I
is.
just took a fly, hell yeah. I did part of whip, hell yeah.
And then we are using a bit of, there's this free plugin by MDA called the Degrade, which I'm using as a send for the instrumental just to kind of get a bit more analog harmonic out of the beat, because, you know, if you listen to a Travis Scott record, everything is distorted really nicely, you know what I mean. So if I turn that
I
up,
just took a fly, hell yeah. I did part of whip, hell yeah.
just a tiny bit, you know what I mean. So yeah, that's pretty much it, man. Master stuff though, and the vocal bus, my bad, before I get too carried away. If you have got too much harshness in your vocal, you can enable this EQ.
I just took a fly, hell yeah. I did part of whip, hell yeah.
And you can kind of slightly hear the you can kind of slightly hear, you know, a bit of that air that we created just get smoothed out again, you know what I mean. This is an option if your vocals are too harsh. This is personally my favorite free DS. It really works well. I did like a big listening session with this, and it sounds awesome. Now just to finish off our vocal bus, we've got a bit of reverb. This is my favorite free reverb. I recommend you go and download this if you have not. I think I'm using either the spring reverb setting or the blue washroom setting, and then I'm just spreading the width quite a bit, and I'm just blending that in really like at 1%, 2%, you know what I mean, just to kind of, if I boost it, but this helps just to kind of smooth the vocal out as a finishing kind of item, I guess, whatever you want to call that. And now we're using the W1 limiter. I used this in the previous video, but I want to give you a little secret here. If you guys want to get, you can see how low the vocal is compared to the beat. Just check out the 2 meters here.
I just took a fly, hell yeah.
Like that's hitting at like -10, right? And the
I
beat
just took a fly, hell yeah.
is at -6. So if you want to get more, let me turn the limiter off
I
now.
just took a fly, hell yeah. I did part of whip, hell yeah.
So you guys can see that it's louder without the limiter, but it's not appealing in a way. So this kind of wraps up the vocal. You use a low threshold, or a low ceiling, my bad, a low threshold, and then a massive release. This distorts it because a quick release distorts audio, but a super long release will kind of keep it in one place. So that's a little secret you can use. I am using that on the Master Bus 2. Parallel compression, we'll talk about this now. This is awesome. But yeah, I'm pretty much using this to get more loudness after Maximus, which is kind of our multiband compressor. But let me just turn this off.
I just took a fly, hell yeah. I did part of whip, hell yeah. Bottles in the club.
You know, it just has a sound to it you can't really get anywhere else. So I just want to speak on this quickly. And this is a really interesting plugin. This is an old plugin, but it's called the Broadcast Process. It's a multiband compressor. You want to, you know, mess with these knobs really lightly. I've messed it
I
up.
just took a fly, hell yeah. I did part of whip, hell yeah. Bottles.
But this plugin is going to allow you to, you know, get a bit more loudness out of it. I'm using the smooth function and then, or preset, and then just kind of messing with it. The cool thing about this plugin is you can actually enhance the stereo field with it. So it's got the side and ambience section over here. Disable this. This is pretty annoying. But if I kind of enhance the mid band, so let me just turn off everything else. So we're just hearing the mids.
I just took a flight, hell yeah. I did part of whip, hell yeah. Bottles in the club, hell yeah.
So you can hear that it's getting wider, you know what I mean? So you can use this on your master bus just to kind of mess around with the wideness as well as tame the dynamics. As you can see, wherever this little dot hits is where the peaks are of that certain band.
I just took a flight, hell yeah. I did part of whip, hell yeah.
And I'm not really compressing too much. It's got this pre-gain function with that, which I really like, and it kind of gives the song this analog vibe. So yeah, this is pretty awesome, man. This is a nice template, simple, all free plugins. If you enjoyed the video, drop a like. If you enjoyed the sound of this preset, or of this template, my bad, this is not a preset. We don't do presets here. We do full-on analog style recording templates, you know what I mean? Stop by the web store, show some support. But yeah, it is your boy Fry, man. Hope you learned something, and I will see you next time. Peace out, squad fam. Squad fam.